Welcome to Amazon in Leominster. Our proposal to the Amazon company has generated so much interest. People found it fascinating, want to learn more about it. So this program will bring you more in depth with exactly what the proposal was. And I know sometimes people might think, well, this is a big company, would you be able to accommodate them? And I can just bring you back to one company located on the north section of Leominster, where they were bought out by a California company. And a lot of people sort of, were talking about it in the community and thought, the company, we'd never be able to wow that company from California to come to Leominster. And in all actuality, the company merged. They moved their main operation here to Leominster. And the same thing happened in the old Tucker Manufacturing Building, where, many people in town thought, the movers and shakers who are, knowledgeable about real estate thought, the most that's going to happen with that 550,000 square foot building is it's probably going to just be warehousing. And there were a couple of companies that were interested in the building. Oftentimes we heard, you'll never get a company like that to come to Leominster. And in reality, we did. There's hundreds of jobs there. And they not only looked all over the Northeast, but they worked. They also looked more to the southern part of the country. So our proposal, as you'll hear tonight, you'll hear the more finer in detail pieces of the proposal. But I would like to thank everyone, because the whole crew at City Hall that worked on this, you'll hear more about them as part of this show. They donated all their time, they donated their weekends, they donated their time off. They're there till sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to make this happen. Very excited about what they were doing, and I just want to thank them on behalf of all of the citizens of the city, because I think you would have to admit and agree with me that is above and beyond for something that they were passionate about and excited about. Not only that, I think you'll hear that we spent just a little over, the cost of the taxpayers for this was a little over $500, and that was just for the cost of shipping some of the Leominster related items to Amazon. So I think it's a great document. I think you'll see that. It's a great proposal. It's a proposal that we can't just be used not only for Amazon, but for any other project that we're in competition in, and all of the work has been done. And again, just a magnificent job. And to all the businesses in town, again, who contributed by making donations in any way, whether it was the Whitman Bingham or Athens Pizza, or many different businesses that contributed, we want to thank them as well. I'm going to turn this over now to Greg Chapdelaine, who's the purchasing agent for the city, and Bill Mitchell, who is the chief assessor for the city of Leominster. Again, you might be surprised of the sorts of people that got involved in this, but they were really excited to do what they did, and I really enjoyed seeing that proposal, and we're really excited because more and more companies are looking towards where their employees live. The bigger, more congested cities are creating issues for their employees. The cost of living is higher, and Leominster is sitting here on over 400 acres of land, already zoned and shovel-ready, meaning the infrastructure is there. So I hope you enjoy this show, and I encourage your feedback. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Chapdelaine, and I am the purchasing agent for the City of Leominster. And with me today is
Bill Mitchell. I'm the Chief Assessor for the City of Leominster.
Welcome to this presentation on Leominster's proposal submission for the new second headquarters for Amazon. Today we're going to give you a brief overview of what this proposal is all about, what it contains, and why the city decided to participate in this endeavor.
For those of you who aren't aware, Amazon submitted a request for proposal about 4 weeks ago to locate a second headquarters somewhere in the world, and requested proposals from cities across the nation to build 8.1 million square feet of buildings, as well as creating 50,000 jobs that will be paid on an average of $100,000 a year. So part of the question we have received is, why did Leominster submit a proposal? Of course, the main reason is to try and entice Amazon to come to Leominster and build that facility, employ those people, and create new jobs. Is this a long shot? Absolutely, it's a long shot. We know that. It didn't fall on deaf ears, but you've got to try. And we know we're competing with major cities across the United States and the world, Mexico, Canada, everywhere. We're aware of that. Part of the function of local government is to do as much as possible to attract viable businesses to our city. And that's why we submitted our proposal.
Why did Leominster submit a proposal? Well, hopefully they're looking seriously at locating their entire new campus, or at least part of it, in Massachusetts. So in light of that, the city did submit its proposal to give it a shot. We're looking to get three things out of submitting this proposal. The ultimate goal is obviously to try to entice Amazon to move to Leominster and build their entire HQ2 campus here in Leominster. Second to that, if that were not to happen, we would hope to get lucky enough to entice Amazon to at least locate part of the facility in Leominster. We say part of one of the facility because in Seattle, where their headquarters currently is, they have a campus setup, if you will, where they're spread out among roughly 28 buildings within the greater Seattle area. So it's potential that they may do the same thing wherever they locate new. So secondly, hopefully we get one of the buildings. Thirdly, at least, hopefully we could get Amazon to visit Leominster. Give us a chance to have city officials give them a tour and show them what Leominster is all about, what we can offer to Leominster. This would present a very good marketing opportunity for the city. And whenever an opportunity presents itself where we're able to market the city, we want to attempt to accomplish that challenge to the best of our ability with the resources we have. Marketing the city. The proposal wasn't simply just to send something to Amazon, but a marketing initiative for the city. By putting this together, it's a document, it's an approach we can use to entice other businesses to come to the area. An example of how this document is already working for us in the realm of marketing is within just the last week alone, last week being the deadline for submissions to be sent to Amazon, the city of Leominster has been mentioned in a number of major news outlets. Some of those news outlets are the Boston Globe, the Worcester Business Journal, WCBB Channel 5 Boston, NECN Cable News, Boston.com, the Associated Press, the Portland Press Herald, and the Seattle Times.
I think that's important to note, and I'm going to go over a couple of these quotes for you just so you're aware of what kind of marketing the city of Leominster has received. Boston Globe quotes, bids came from 54 states, provinces, districts, and territories across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, including at least 10 from Massachusetts cities and towns, including Boston, Leominster, and Worcester, end quote. Right there, guys, gives us an example of how important this project was to getting the Leominster word out there in the news. They've mentioned us only second to Boston, and they're talking about 54 states and provinces across the world. So that's an important, and that's good marketing for the city, gets us out there and gets our name out there. In the Seattle Times, out there where Amazon is located right now, Mayor Dean Mazzarella was quoted. Leominster Mayor Dean Mazzarella is pitching his city as the hidden jewel, while also dismissing the attractiveness of a Boston campus, saying Amazon can't afford to be anywhere where their employees are fatigued and tired by the time they reach work in the morning. That's important because it's commuting time to some place like City of Boston, and he was quoted in the Seattle Times saying that. Those people out there in Seattle, Amazon included, are going to see that in the Seattle Times, and again, we're going to be noticed. Third quote by Governor Charlie Baker. He's given us the opportunity to market ourselves. He states, they've given municipalities the chance to promote their attractiveness and value to Amazon and the rest of the business world. If Amazon doesn't bite, others are bound to. And again, that's part of marketing ourselves out there. This news outreach is going to circulate the Leominster brand in front of other potential corporate cities that may also be searching for their next location for a new business endeavor, expansion, or relocation. So we're reaching out to companies that may not even be aware of us yet. So it goes beyond the Amazon effort. By reading about Leominster's development-ready sites, some of these businesses just may decide to give us a look. Businesses who, without this news coverage, without these essentially free marketing effort, would not know about Leominster at all. So that's real important to know.
And that's one of the second benefits to doing this proposal. The first, obviously, as we mentioned, is to try to entice Amazon to come to Leominster, either in its entirety or in some partial benefit. The second, as we touched on a little earlier, was going through this exercise. the city now has a very complete, fully comprehensive marketing package to distribute to those very same businesses that are hopefully reading about Leominster in all of these news stories. The city's economic development team has been pulling information and materials together over time for this very type of use. But having to dive right into this Amazon project in just 2 weeks' time allowed the city to put together a comprehensive marketing proposal that will now serve Leominster very well for all future marketing efforts.
That's important to note, too, because, again, when we're talking about marketing efforts and this proposal to Amazon, getting the name out there, we can use this proposal that we've put together, which is a comprehensive document, to go after businesses such as Wayfair, the biopharmaceutical industry, the IT industry, all of those businesses and entities that may be looking for space and aren't aware of us. So this is very good, and this has happened since last week. So this is really good.
When the concept of Amazon possibly moving to Leominster is being discussed, people have already asked us, how does the city believe Leominster is able to meet the basic requirements of Amazon's request for proposals for its new HQ2 location? And the simple answer is that Leominster alone does not meet these requirements of Amazon's proposal. In their proposal, Amazon asked for interested municipalities, regions, to respond who fit into a certain, what's called a metropolitan statistical area. It is this metropolitan statistical area that Leominster is part of that meets Amazon's requirements.
Let me talk about that for a second, because I think it's important to note. They refer to it as MSA number, and it's considered a metropolitan statistical area. It's developed by U.S. Census Bureau information that is compiled to show what kind of population, median income flow, things like that we have in our region. Well, we fall in a metropolitan statistical area that has a population of 985,000 people. This is central Massachusetts region and northern Connecticut. That's how they define our region. With that being said, that population of 985,000, they're looking for 1 million, doesn't include the Boston, Mass area or the Nashua, New Hampshire area, which is just outside of our metropolitan statistical area. So we feel as though we meet the criteria of the 1 million people and being 30 miles outside of a major metropolitan center, which could be Nashua or Boston. So we feel as though we definitely fit into that category.
The question comes up, how is Leominster going to support 50,000 new people? Well, building on what Bill just said about the metropolitan statistical area, Leominster alone is not going to provide 50,000 employees to Leominster, nor are 50,000 new people going to move to Leominster. And we mentioned this 50,000 employee number in Amazon's request for proposal document. Wherever they move to, they have stated that this is a 15-year project. When they break ground initially, it's going to take them 15 years to build out their full second headquarters, the full campus that they envision. And over those 15 years of time, when they reach full employment, they anticipate hiring 50,000 people over that period of time. So 50,000 people are not coming to Leominster, nor are we going to supply all of them. It's going to come from the MSA area. What would happen if Amazon located to Leominster is that Amazon would draw from the resources available throughout this region to satisfy all of its needs. Everything from sourcing its employees to where the employees live, to the schools and colleges that their children attend to, where all their operating supplies come from, and whatnot. And the question is, why us? Why Leominster? Well, when we look at this, obviously we're in Massachusetts, so what's our biggest competition? It's the major cities. For us, that would be Boston. In our proposal, we highlighted all the Class A medical facilities, institutes of higher education, and all the various cultural amenities that are available throughout the Worcester region, the Middlesex region, and even going into Boston, because all of these amenities are available within an hour drive of Leominster, the very same amenities that many Leominster residents also avail themselves of on a regular basis. Leominster and the local region around us, in comparison to a major city like Boston, offers much more affordable housing options, lower cost of living, lower comparable real estate taxes, readily available developable land with infrastructure already in place, less congestion, easier commute times for those driving to Leominster versus driving east to Boston, while still having access to public transportation directly to Boston.
And so let's talk about the location of Leominster. You know, Amazon is located in Seattle right now. And part of the problem is the congestion itself and the traffic and the flow. What if the company like Amazon doesn't feel the need to locate in a major city? Then yes, Leominster does have an opportunity to make a case for itself. We might just get lucky enough in convincing Amazon to take a look at us. People talk about developing good-paying jobs in Leominster, and I believe this is how you do it. You've got to market yourself and get your name out there, and who knows who you might attract. We could be exactly what they're looking for.
Absolutely. And that's continuing the marketing theme. Any of these businesses that may be looking to locate somewhere else for another state, who are located in, say, New York, and they want to branch out, or reading about Leominster in these news outlets that we've talked about because of this Amazon submission that we've done. These businesses located in another state or region who are looking to expand or relocate, who probably aren't familiar with Leominster, will not find out about us unless we are proactive in going out to contact these businesses. And this is what we have attempted to do in responding to this Amazon proposal. So it's a two-pronged approach. We believe that this is part of the job of local government to establish these business relationships on the behalf of and for the benefit of our citizens and local businesses.
So no, we ask ourselves, what do we have to offer? What does Leominster have to offer to the Amazon community or other businesses that are looking? Based on U.S. Bureau Census data, here is where the Worcester metropolitan region ranks in comparison to the rest of the country. And these are important things to note. Information technology and analytical instruments. We rank number 47 in the entire United States. Reason being is because we employ 4,129 jobs in that sector. That makes us only number 47 in the whole United States. Our region ranks number 53 in the entire U.S. for biopharmaceutical, because we employ 1,009 people. Lighting and electrical equipment. This was amazing to me, but in our region, again, we rank number 14 in the entire United States in that sector because we employ 3,590 jobs in the lighting and electrical equipment industry. Who knew? The metalworking industry ranks number 25. The medical devices industry, we rank number 50 in our region. The plastics industry, what Leominster was built on, we still rank number 26 in the U.S. because we employ 4,890 jobs in this Worcester region. We also touched on a number of other things in our Amazon proposal. If you could bring up slide 1, Carl. We talk about our housing stock. We talk about affordable housing, and why us? Why our housing? Well, one, we offer affordability, okay? Why are these companies trending towards affordability? Believe it or not, companies like Amazon employ a large millennial workforce. Millennials are referred to ages from 15 to 35 years of age. Right now, statistically, 40% of their pay currently goes to rent or mortgage. Moving or drawing them to a city like Leominster reduces that to 15%, and that's based on a $70,000 yearly salary. When you're looking at this map, you can see here the green area is us. That's our region. The median single-family home in that sector is $268,000. As soon as you cross that Middlesex line that you see there in red, and you get into that region, it jumps to $523,900 for the median selling price of a home. And then as you get into the yellow Boston, Suffolk area, it's $508,000. It immediately doubles from where we are. The purple circle that you're seeing around there, that is the 30-mile radius around Leominster. And if you remember, we talked about the Leominster request for proposal, and they requested that the city be within 30 miles of a major metropolitan center. That's us. There's the circle, there's the housing options, there's what we can provide, okay? The quality of life for these millennials is more important than the quantity. They're people that want to have less assets, less home, but have more experiences. So lower housing costs gives them more disposable income and better quality of life. It's very important. Let's go to slide number 2. If you can see, this is the same map. You're going to see two or three more of these. This is the housing stock for condominiums. Again, the trend is the same. The median income value of a condominium in Worcester County is $268,000. And again, as you go to Middlesex, it jumps up to $423,000 for a condominium. And then as you go to Boston, well, Boston is known for their condominium, their high price. It goes to $560,000. You imagine earning a $100,000 job and paying $560,000 for a condominium? So then we go to multifamily properties. This is popular.
Slide 3.
Yeah, slide 3, I'm sorry. If we go to multifamilies, this is an option as well because a lot of young people are buying a multifamily, living in the first floor, renting out the second floor to help out with a mortgage. Well, if you look at this, we're looking at Worcester County again, $215,000 for a median multifamily selling price. You go to Middlesex, it jumps up. This is astonishing, to $616,000. And then you go to Boston, it's $636,000. It's staggering as soon as you cross that Middlesex County line. Let's go to slide 4. Again, similar map. This is showing apartments. Now, if a millennial does not want to own their own home, and this is becoming popular, they don't want the maintenance or the fatigue of owning their own home. They want to live in an apartment, just pay rent, and have everything taken care of. Here we go again. Worcester County, $1,500 a month is the average rent. As soon as you go to Middlesex, add $1,000. It's $2,500 a month for the median rental price. Then you go to Boston, it jumps up again to $2,675. We're trying to show Amazon the affordable option that Central Mass has to offer. This is how we presented the housing stock in Leominster and why the affordability is a great option for them. Also, one of the questions we had is, what's a tax incentive? You know, in our Amazon proposal, yep, we did supply some tax incentive options. Okay, as part of our proposal, the city would likely offer an approval of tax incentives if the city council and the mayor grant it. There's 2 ways to offer these tax incentives. One is a TIF, one is an STA. These are probably foreign language to you, but let me explain. A TIF is another word for tax increment financing. It's a stay of taxes on an improvement or investment of a property over a specific period of time for a specific amount. All right. The STA, or special tax assessment, is a stay of taxes on the land and its improvements of a property over a specific period of time for a specific amount. Why do we offer tax incentives? This is a tool to entice Amazon or other companies to locate to your municipality. Okay? Contrary to popular belief, a TIF or STA is not a forgiving of taxes. We're not giving away the farm. It is simply a lowering of the initial taxes a company would pay to allow the company cash flow and stability during the startup period of construction or new development. It's used in a location or purchasing decision for investors because their large part of their investment is going to be in those upfront costs. They've got to build, they've got to relocate, and they've got to construct. So offering them a tax incentive like any other city is going to help us out. It's to stay competitive with all those other cities and towns, and that's what they're offering. So let's go to slide number 5. So this is the actual STA offering that we put in our proposal. What you're looking at here is the same exact STA the city offered AIS, which you heard the mayor talk about in his introduction, to occupy the 528,000 square foot building at 25 Tucker Drive. Okay? It added 500 jobs and allowed a large state-of-the-art manufacturing business to merge 9 of their locations under one roof. Why was that important? It was allowed them to compete with other office furniture manufacturers like Hahn, Allsteel, etc. When you look at this offering, where you see in the full assessed value there is what Amazon is potentially going to invest in the community, which is $5 billion in improvement value. This is a 13-year structured TIF, same as AIS has, and when you look all the way over to the right and down at the bottom of the screen, the right corner, you're going to see that they will save $405 million in taxes. That sounds like a lot. That sounds enormous.
It's a huge amount.
Considering our budget is only $110 million, it's staggering. But what people don't realize is that's a forgiving of taxes that are not here yet. All we're doing is pushing that tax structure out, and we're not giving it away. In that same amount of time that you see in that 13-year period, although we're giving away $405 million or staying those taxes, we're going to collect $1,089 million and some change in taxes during that same time frame. Can you imagine us getting $1 billion more in tax revenue?
And it's only in the first 13 years.
This is
because
13 years.
Now it's important to point out that on this STA offering on that slide you just saw, that is under the scenario that Amazon selected Leominster and built everything in Leominster, and they accomplished their 15-year build-out, which is
Right.
about $5 billion in infrastructure. That's $5 billion worth of construction in Leominster. And it's also important to point out that if we did offer them this STA, the City Council approved it, that's in place for 13 years. And after the 13 years, that goes away, and the $1 billion in taxes that we collect during the first 13 years, that increases starting
right.
year 14.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
a huge amount of money. Should we get fortunate enough? We realize it's a long shot, but using that scenario, it's a huge amount of money. That is the tax portion of our proposal. Another portion of our proposal was offering the various sites that we have available. And we submitted a number of information in the proposal. We're not going to go over all of it here, but we provided a lot of information, maps, photos, whatnot, construction information, dealing with 5 particular sites that would be able to accommodate the full Amazon build-out for what they were asking for in their request for proposals. We had 5 sites. 2 of the sites are city-owned, one being the former landfill on Mechanic Street, the second being Jungle Road, the Jungle Road area, which is down by the Walmart, which the city owns the majority of that, but it is that area is comprised also of some privately owned land. And then there were 3 other privately owned sites. So we provide a lot of information to Amazon about that in the proposal. We're just going to go over one site to give you a little taste of what we provided in the proposal for them. The first site, if we want to go to slide 6, please, is the former Leominster Landfill, which is bordered by Mechanic Street on one side and the Leominster Connector on the other. Now on the slide you're seeing the red outlined area is the landmass that is the former dump. It is comprised of 30.86 acres of land. The full capacity build-out in office square footage is of this site that it could maintain, that it could accommodate, is 858,000 square feet, which would be spread through 3 buildings. It would also include parking for 2,200 parking spots. Now, if we go to slide 7, please. This is a aerial photo of the landfill as it sits right now. You'll see that the parking lot for the existing Fidelity Bank headquarters is located in the lower left-hand corner. You'll see Mechanic Street on the right side. The blue line to the left of it, that is the Leominster Connector, which connects directly, as Leominster residents are very familiar with, the 2 highways that intersect at the top of the screen, Route 2 east and west to Boston, to the western part of the state, and Interstate 190, which goes south to Worcester.
Yeah, this is a great aerial photo because it does give the potential buyer the idea of the location of it to the major interchange. It's important to note that we researched the Seattle structure for Amazon, and most of their office buildings are average around 268,000 square feet apiece, and that's why we mirrored 3 268,000 square foot office buildings on this site to try and give them a really good idea of what it would look like. It also gives a potential buyer the ability to visualize it. When you look at this photo, it looks very developable. You can see the accesses in and out. You can see the surrounding properties, and you can see the horizon.
You can see how close the highways are to the site, which is very important to many major corporations as far as accessibility. You can see in the top left corner of the photo how close the MBTA commuter rail station is, which is roughly about a mile away on Nashua Street.
Right, and then you can see we have 2 major highways, one going to Boston, one going to Worcester. So this is a great marketing document here. What we're going to show you now is a video that we did. It was a drone video that we recorded for free. We knew someone that came up and was kind enough to fly the drone around these sites for us. And then we did a voiceover. So if you don't mind, Carl, if you could take a minute and go ahead and show that video real quick so people can have an idea of what we did for the marketing. Welcome to site number 1. This parcel is known as the Leominster Landfill, consisting of 30 acres of prime commercial real estate. The City of Leominster utilized a grant to cap the landfill 22 years ago. In recent years, post-closure permits have been attained, and Fidelity Bank has developed a portion of the site with a first-class office building and headquarters location. The remaining 30 acres of the site has rolling topography and multiple access points. While creating one of the major entrances to the city, known as the Leominster Connector, the city had the foresight to gain Massachusetts Department of Transportation approval of a traffic signal that has been installed for a main entrance point to the site for future development. The site has immediate access to the Route 2 and Interstate 190 interchange that provides direct access to the cities of Boston and Worcester, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Manchester, New Hampshire. This site offers Amazon the ability to construct 3 286,000 square foot premium office buildings similar to your Urban Union building in South Lake Union, Seattle. This site accomplishes your deadline of 2019 for Phase 1 of your HQ2 project, as well as a portion of Phase 2. It is also important to note that because this is city-owned land, the city is prepared to enter into sale negotiations or a long-term lease agreement with Amazon. The city is prepared to offer a tax increment financing agreement or special tax assessment with Amazon to allow for the development of this site while granting Amazon the ability to meet its deadline and cost effectiveness. You will find additional information about this site in our proposal. So that just gives you a good idea when what we did, what we offered, and how we may have marketed some of the sites with those drone videos and voiceover.
And so you understand in the proposal itself, we did aerial footage with a similar narrative, for each of the sites that we include in the proposal. So we just wanted to show you that one to give you a flavor of what we included in the proposal to Amazon. If we can go to slide 8 now, please. What you're looking at here is a conceptualized drawing of what we've just been talking about before the aerial video of the 3 proposed buildings. Then again, this is just an architecturally conceptualized drawing of what it could look like. You'll see the 2 main buildings which border the landfill on the Leominster Connector side. You'll see the 2 major buildings and the structures below them. You'll see those are parking garages, and they are built into the side of the landfill. And the 3rd building is sort of near the top, over to the right a little bit. You'll see it sits a little lower. That's because in this rendering, that building is visualized as sitting on the downslope of the landfill at that side. The bottom part of the screen shows an apple orchard, and in the middle is all open space. And for those people who may be wondering that, is this doable? It is. And talking with the people who put this together for us, building into the landfill like this, opening up the cap and whatnot, this is a absolutely doable project. It's done at other landfills, so this is something that, whether it's Amazon who comes here or hopefully someone else sees this and we're able to market the site at some point to build something like this, it is a construction project that can be realized. We want to point out that this conceptualized drawing you're seeing was a team effort put together by Whitman and Bingham Associates and A.T. Leonard Associates. They partnered together to do this project for the city on their own time, on their own dime. This is donated to us free of cost. And it's important to point out that an architectural rendering like this usually takes a couple of weeks, and you're typically charged a few $1,000s to do something like this. We did reach out, the Leominster City Hall team, to somebody to see if we could have something like this done, and we were quoted a price of $4,000. Obviously, we don't have a budget anywhere near that to do something like this, so we reached out to Whitman and Bingham and A.T. Leonard and Associates, who do a lot of work for the city, and they're gracious enough to think that this project was worth their time to put this together, so we want to thank them for that.
That gives you a good flavor of how we marketed some of our sites here in Leominster. We did that with 3 of our major sites. We couldn't offer a conceptualized drawing, but I think it was important to offer this one that allowed them to actually visualize themselves as a gateway entrance to the city of Leominster and show that how possible it actually was for Amazon to locate here and get them well beyond their phase 1 and into their phase 2 part of their process. We also highlighted other things, transportation included. You have to realize what's at City of Leominster, what's available, how do you get in and out of the city, and how do you get to Boston and surrounding areas. So if you could bring up slide number 8, you're going to see the map of the transportation that's been highlighted. It's a very simple map, but what it does is the map, again, you can see that purple line arc going through the map, and that's a 30-mile radius from Leominster. As you can see how it dives right into that Boston area. You can see the Route 2 in green highlighted right through. That's our direct access to Boston. You also see all of the T stations and the T rides and the commuter rails going into Boston and out of Boston. You can see the Amtrak stops, all the local airports, the rest of the major highways. You can see we zoomed out enough to show that access to Worcester and Boston. Worcester's very close. You can see the arteries going up towards Nashua, New Hampshire. So this is very important. It shows them, gives them an idea of where we're located, how close they are to Boston, and how we fit their criteria. What we've gone over at this point is the bulk of the information that was contained in our proposal. We're not going to go over every little detail because we feel as though we'd be here for like 3 hours.
We'll be here a while.
So we're not going to go over that. One of the things Greg's going to talk about is the cost of the project.
We just want to point out we've had some questions from citizens who've sent questions into the mayor's office about this proposal and what it took to put this together and how it was the impact of city time and whatnot. I want to point out that the full cost of this proposal was $590, the actual money that we actually spent. And that was made up by two things. $490 was the cost to ship the package, the suitcase that we sent, and we'll talk about that in a minute, the suitcase that we sent our proposal in to the Amazon headquarters in Seattle. And the $100 was the cost for that suitcase. Before we go a little farther, we want to point out that 5 City Hall employees worked on this proposal in totality. They weren't able to all be here today for this presentation, so we want to recognize them. Obviously, myself and Bill Mitchell worked on the proposal, but also Lisa Maroney, the Economic Development Coordinator for the city, participated in this proposal. Kristen Kelly, the Director of Planning and Economic Development for the city, participated in this proposal, and Wendy Weeks, the Grant Administrator for the city, also participated in putting this proposal together. The majority of hours spent on this proposal were worked nights and on weekends during the 2-week window in which the city had time to put this proposal together. The team felt strongly that this was a good project for the city to enter into, and therefore we donated a lot of our time to the project to ensure it was completed and submitted. There were obviously City Hall hours that were spent, City Hall time from our own jobs that were spent on it, but a good portion of it was nights and weekends. So the actual cost to the city was very low. So the fact that other people pitched in and whatnot to put this all together, it really didn't cost the taxpayers a lot of money. The reason the proposal was shipped in a suitcase was that we had crafted basically a welcome package for Amazon as a marketing gimmick to entice them to hopefully come to Leominster, see what we can offer. The suitcase was comprised of product samples from manufacturers located in Leominster, as well as Leominster and New England themed items that we believe best represented our local region. There were also invitations from the Hilton Doubletree Hotel and some of our local restaurants in Leominster to Amazon officials to visit their establishments should Amazon decide to visit the Leominster area. We credit a local businessman with suggesting this suitcase idea to us. It is an idea that a large Boston institution currently employs as a marketing technique for themselves when trying to attract large business participation in their own operations. So basically the idea of the suitcase package was pack your bags, you're coming to Leominster. Manufactured items, hospitality invitations, regional products, basically everything that went into the suitcase welcome package were donated by local businesses. This is a testament to how everyone we contacted was willing to pitch in on this project because they believed that this was something worthwhile doing. If you want to bring up slide 10, please. AIS Office Interiors even constructed a custom-made chair with Leominster silk screened on it as a gift to Amazon, which they shipped to Amazon at their own cost. We did include some documentation in with the chair it arrived at the same time that our separate Leominster proposal arrived. And the whole marketing gimmick of the chair was, please accept this chair as a gift from a Leominster manufacturer. It's a demonstration of things that are made here in Leominster. And the marketing angle of it was, here's a chair for your enjoyment. Sit back, relax as you read our Leominster proposal. The suitcase itself, we want to point out that we even had a local Leominster business package this suitcase for us and arrange all the shipping. Everyone pitched in for free, and we would like to publicly thank these businesses for participating. Go to slide 11. There's before we thank those businesses, you'll see it's a picture of Mayor Mazzarella with not everything, but most of the contents that were packed into the suitcase that made up the proposal. We'd like to thank the following businesses for helping on this project and for donating manufactured products, sample of items that they sell, letters of endorsement, hospitality invitations, and whatnot. We'd like to thank Lascotti Development Corporation, AIS Commercial Office Furniture, Whitman and Bingham Associates, A.T. Leonard and Associates, Cardinal Comb, Foster Tech Optics, First Plastics Corporation, Sholin Farms, Athens Pizza, the North End Diner, the 110 Grill, the Hilton Doubletree Hotel, Comorquito Restaurant, New England Apple Products, Spectro Coating Corporation, LD Russo Incorporated, Gagney Realty Corporation, United Solutions, Cato Products, and Try Some Potato Chips.
Try some potato chips. Staple,
Been around a long
staple of
time.
our community. Well, I also want to take this moment to thank everyone for tuning in today. I want to thank Greg for being here with me today. I want to thank the team, Wendy Weeks, Lisa Maroney, Kristen Kelly for putting in their time. I want to thank Greg and Lisa for staying with me in my office until 2 o'clock in the morning one evening.
We were here
Wouldn't let
very
them
long
leave.
day.
Wouldn't let them leave until we got it done, and we did get it done, and just in time for us to submit that proposal. I thank them for that. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today and taking an interest in your city, and just giving us the opportunity to allow you kind of a sneak peek on what we do at City Hall and how important this is to us and how important this city is to us and why we do what we do. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.